Hello everyone, my name is Eva Rolin. I'm a research assistant at the CENTAL, a technological platform of the UCLouvain. I'm involved in several projects, including the Be Social project. In the presentation, I will address two topics: the creation of representative corpus of Belgian tweets and the creation of a search interface to query that corpus. But first, I will briefly present our platform and the contribution of our research in the Be Social project. CENTAL's research in natural language processing focuses on textual analysis in three areas: information extraction applied to domains such as finance, justice and medicine, social media analysis, including linguistic study of the specificities of new media as well as data collection and corpus design, and the development of tools and algorithms offering new ways of learning. In the Be Social project, the CENTAL provides its expertise in natural language processing and more particularly in information extraction and retrieval. These two areas of expertise cover all the needs necessary for the collection, analysis and storage of information of the Be Social project. Our presentation is divided in two parts: the creation of representative corpus of Belgian tweets and the implementation of a search interface. The first part of our presentation focuses on the creation of representative corpus. The interest of this kind of corpus is that it doesn't restrict the collection of tweets to keywords or hashtags defined a priori. It therefore makes it possible to circumscribe an event such as the COVID or election, for example, without having to list all the constraints in extension and without running the risk of forgetting any. For example, if you want to create a subcorpus of tweets about COVID, we can do so using hashtags. But we could also imagine that all tweets from that period implicitly carry that hashtag. This allows us not to be constrained to a list of hashtags, avoiding the risk of missing tweets. But of course, the collection by hashtag also exists, and the two strategies are complementary. In fact, we want a corpus that represents the Belgian population, but how we can we collect only Belgian tweets? For example, we can use a criterion such as the language, because that would imply that we would have tweets from France, the Netherlands, etc. Therefore, we decide to use the followers of Belgian personalities. For example, the presenter of the TV show Jardin Extraordinaire is very likely to be followed by a Belgian audience. To collect the followers of Belgian personalities, we had to create a set list that contains a set of personalities that represent a Belgian society. That is to say, we had to think about politicians like Benoît Lugen, the accounts of the different parties, singers like Axel Red or festival accounts, YouTubers, influencers like Jamie Labeu, or Belgian companies like the Carrefour and Colruyt Group. Once this list was defined, we thought about how to extend this list in order to be the most exhaustive, but above all the most representative. If you take the example of the presenter of the Jardin Extraordinaire, we noticed that many people from the RTBF TV channel follow him, but also Belgian writer. This shows not only that most of the people who follow this personality are Belgian, but that they can be used to expand your seed lists. Once we are sure that we have an exhaustive and representative list, we can start our collection. To do this, we first extract the followers of each personality and download all the tweets that come from the timeline of these followers, or the tweets that were written during the period we are interested in. Then we automatically monitor these accounts to retrieve the new tweet. To do this, we use the Twitter API and use the Perl language. However, in intermediate intermediate step is necessary to check if the accounts for which we are going to extract the tweet are indeed Belgian. If it is more or less certain that the followers of the presenter of Jardin Extraordinaire are Belgian, it is more difficult to be certain than that Angels or Eden Hazard's followers are also all Belgian. To validate the origin of the accounts, we have two possibilities. We can exploit the geolocation given by the user when they created the Twitter account, but this is very often missing, or it can also be wrong or invented. In this case, we have developed an automatic learning model that is able to determine the origin of the accounts. In conclusion, by exploiting the followers of Belgian personalities and their timelines, we are able to create a corpus representative of the Belgian population. Note that we have explained the creation and logic of harvesting tool, what to do with this Belgian tweet. BSocial's goal is to be able to archive social media, so that is directly searchable. To do this, we need to create an interface into which we inject all tweets, Facebook and Instagram posts, so that they are easily accessible to researchers. The interface should include the following components: an analyzer that will enrich the archive data with semantic information as name entities. Name entity recognition is a subtask of information extraction that seeks to locate and classify entities of interest for a particular task as localization, organization, etc., and store them in index. And a search engine that will allow access to data from standard keywords or more complex semantic queries. In this presentation, we will only present the search engine, but we are also developing the parser using name entity recognizer that we have trained ourselves. After determining our interface requirements, we have tested an application named SolarWayback. It is both a search interface and a viewer for historical web page. The SolarWayback uses on a Solar server with files indexed and offers several features as free text and image search. That is to say, they offer different search files, exact match, and advanced query possibility. They offer also the possibility of visualization of data. That is to say, they propose workload generation and gram visualization and the exportation of results. But the main drag of this tool is that it was designed to archive web pages and not social media. For example, the playback feature of the tool is a big feature that is not at all relevant or even for projects. Therefore, we decided to create our own interface. The tool is based on development led by the colleagues from the Media Innovation Intelligibility Lab at UCLouvain. The search engine is a web application that specializes this in indexing social media content using Elasticsearch. This tool was created independently following a need to index tweets for research purposes in the humanities. In this case, the tool was designed to query data and not to observe web pages. Just like SolarWayback, the tool developed offers several search functions to make simple but also more complex queries. The tool also offers charts for single words, multi-words, hashtags, mention associated with the search, but we also have statistics for the politician, parties and media that read the most in relation to the search occurrence. The tool also offers the possibility to download the results. To illustrate this feature, I propose a live demonstration. Please note this tool is under development and not in production. In this case, it is not publicly available at this time. We can see the search interface where we can type in your query. I'm going to do a simple query and search for the word economy. We can choose the target community, that is to say tweets in Dutch from Belgium, tweets in French from Belgium, and tweets in French from France. We can also choose the collection we are interested in, politics, media, and population, and we can make a more advanced query and choose the period, for example, but for the demonstration I make a simple query. The result page gives several pieces of information, the number of tweets, matching or search, and more linguistic statistics. We can see the single words or multi-words that are often associated with the word we search for, but also the hashtags and the mention related to our query. And we can also see which politician or party or media company is producing the most tweets related to your search. And finally, we have a graph that shows the statistic of occurrence by day, by months, or by year. And you can see the tweet corresponding to your query, and here you can export all of result of the query. In conclusion, we have an efficient research platform. We have an efficient research platform that already allows many of the functionalities requested by the Be Social project. In the near future, we would like to add more language processing oriented features like name entities and not restrict the interface to Twitter. Thank you for your attention. I am available to answer your question during the question answer session, or you can contact me via my email when I have indicated on the slide. Thank you.